Like with t-shirt buddies.
The Black Brothers. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
When I was a kid and I heard the calling,
Yeah.
if I had a tanner, and you
Yeah.
have to be my age to know what a tanner is,
Yeah.
I would already be on my way. Uh, if not, it was a case of pestering mum
Mm.
so I could go out and get one. Tradition in the UK, or one of the traditions in the UK, is the ice cream man, which brought joy and for some frustration to many who didn't have the change to get the cornet wafer
Yeah. Yeah.
or or the 99, right?
Yes.
So the other day we did a podcast about English traits in eating fish and chips out of the
Mm.
paper. Fish chips and scraps was my favorite,
Mm.
right? Heavy on the scraps. Scraps were those bits of batter that fell off
Yeah.
the fish,
Oh, yeah.
and they fish them out later, if you pardon the
Yeah. Yeah.
expression.
Yes.
But it seems that both now are no longer an impulse buy, uh, but are coming to be somewhat of a luxury item. A Mr. Whippy ice cream seller
Mm.
in a district of Manchester was charging £11 for two ice cream cornets, right? In a park. I'm not surprised British people are having fewer children
Mm.
because, you know, uh, if my family were all alive today,
Mm.
you know, and the prices of today, and we were all a family, my mum and dad and my brothers and sisters, and we went for an ice cream each, it would have come to £25.50 just to have a bit of ice cream. And not everybody has that type of money.
Mm.
Uh, we can only make comparisons here and smile here in Brazil because an ice cream cone of the same size would cost only the equivalent of 30 pence in the UK,
Mm.
and that's in a shopping centre.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys normally pay two
All right.
ice for
Yeah.
an ice cream cone.
Not free now, but yeah. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Prices in the chip shops in the UK don't fare any better, I'm afraid.
Mm.
Uh, these days, a portion of fish and chips will set you back about £10. Uh, that's up 50% from five
Yeah.
years ago. 50% from
Mm.
5 years ago. The same family size as my family, if we were all alive, uh, it would be like £40 for a meal, eaten out of the wrapper, eaten out of
Yeah.
the use. Because the two youngest, me and my sister probably, would
Mm.
split between us
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
It was, and it's possibly why kebab shops and pizza places in the
Mm.
UK are doing better, as their
Mm.
prices are a little bit lower in general.
Mm.
I believe when me and my son went back to the UK, a kebab was still like a £5 or £7 or
Yeah.
something like that. It's only kebab, and it was quite substantial. So why are the things like this so expensive? Um, in the fish and chips case,
Mm.
the UK government put tariffs on Russian fish of 35% because of the Ukraine thing.
Yeah.
Now, if you put we get 30, the UK gets about 30% of its fish for the fish and
Mm.
chip shop from Russia.
Mm.
So you put 35% import tariff on the fish. The fish, of course,
Yeah.
it's going to be more expensive for the chippy owner.
Mm.
He's going to pass this on to his customers, of course.
Yeah. Maybe that's true. Yeah.
Um, in the case of the ice cream, the energy costs and council taxes are being driven up.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you talk about the ice cream man,
Mm.
he goes from A to B, and his main energy cost, of course, is petrol,
Mm.
you know. And already in the UK, they're talking about putting 10p on a litre of petrol, which is 50p on a gallon of petrol.
Mm.
The litre of petrol because it seems
Yeah.
10p is not so bad, you know.
Yes. Yes.
And the council tax, the ice cream van, this guy was selling his ice creams in a park, and the
Mm.
council charges him for the sales point in the park.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to make ends meet somehow,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, yeah. Cater. Yeah.
So, resuming all of this,
Mm.
political decisions that are made on behalf of governments,
Mm.
it's always the lower class, always the lower classes that pays,
Mm.
because a rich person won't even think
No.
twice because it's only 10 quid for two ice creams, 11 quid for two ice creams,
Mm.
and money to burn. The upper classes, of course.
Yeah.
The middle classes are going to say, well, 11 quid, but they still do it because,
Mm.
and it's the lower classes just don't have £11 to spend on two ice creams when they could be putting money in the gas meter
Well,
and the
yeah.
electric meter. So there you have it. It's political decisions in the UK that are putting a lot of pressure on the population,
Mm.
basically. Population that has to pay for all of these decisions. In the meantime, the politicians they still have their subsidised restaurants in the House of Commons. They still get their gifts
Yeah.
of eighteen
Mm.
thousand pounds worth of clothes and free glasses for passes.
Yeah. I know.
Over to you
Ooh.
to let off steam.
Ooh. You're really getting my working class hackles up now. Yeah. Because I do come from that side of it. Yeah, my father worked hard all his life. Not that pick or anything, in an office doing things, but he had to work hard. And I did. I come from a railway industry, an engineering railway industry. So you can't exactly say that, I come from a class thing. Um,
Careful what you say there, because the train drivers just received a huge pay increase.
oh, well, I wasn't a train driver. Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. I could explain it in another video, but yeah. Um, well, if they don't. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to go down the technology side of that. Um, the yeah. I mean, that is always the issue. I mean, again, I was thinking about this the other day when we talk about elite. Let's be honest about it. It's not overused now. We are being ruled, and I don't care if they say, "Oh, we support the working class man." No, you do not. You do not. Um, you support yourself. That's it, period. And we talk about lying and everything else. Okay, there might be some genuine politicians who are there to try and make a difference. Yeah, okay, we'll work that one out another time. But now I was thinking about this the other day with regards to the elites, and I'm not going to start. Yes, I care about the people on the ground who are suffering, but I mean it in a pragmatic way. People that go out to work, earn money, then lose all their money in taxes and other things, want to give their children, their families things. Yeah, okay. I know family sizes are dwindling, but it's awful. Now I was thinking about this the other day. We're talking about what politicians need. Okay, they get expenses for flats in London. Okay, what does a politician need to live in London? I thought about this the other day. They need a single bed because they're going to be there by themselves. Yeah. Imagine that you and I, we've lived in hotels. I've done contracting and all that. You look for the cheapest place you can because you're paying for it yourself. Yeah. They need a single bed, a desk in the corner to work, possibly a television, Yeah, and internet access now. Yeah, Wi-Fi. Yeah. No, I don't know how we could deal with laptops and everything else, but yeah, let's just say the 5 things. That's all they need to function now. Getting to and from the place of work. Why can't us as the government or whoever furnish an old military barracks somewhere, or even find a place in London where you could repurpose an apartment block or something else like that, and there is empty ones there, perfectly sufficient for a politician's needs if they've got to stay in London. I think you know what I'm saying with this, yeah? They don't need a plush Kensington apartment.
No, of course not.
They need a basic room.
You could also, I would not herd them all together to live together, because they would be colluding with each other 24 hours a day.
Oh.
Instead of just the 3 hours a day they spend in the House of Commons.
Oh, actually, yeah. Well, again, that could be personal choice. I don't know, but I'm just using this as an example. Or you could have little blocks everywhere. I'm just trying to think the economics how this would work. But yeah, you could build a Portakabin city for them somewhere, almost. Yeah, or an old container city for them, because yeah, I've seen containers used repurposed, quite nice places. That's all they need. They just need a single bed. Why they need a double one, I don't know. Very few of them probably have their families with them.
Have you seen the size of some of them?
Sorry?
Have you seen the size of some of them?
Yeah, well, okay. Not my problem, man. Well, yeah, maybe they shouldn't have so many subsidised meals then. Maybe, yeah, be made to eat like the rest of us. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's it. I was thinking, yeah, why am I paying somebody who's on a good salary to start with? I would do that job, quite honestly, and I'd be happy to stay in an Airbnb somewhere to do that job. Yeah, because I honestly believe that I'd want to be doing that to make a difference. Yeah, I don't think my head would get turned by the power, the grandeur of it all. But yeah. But again, yeah, I was thinking this the other day. Our whole system, the way we look at, the way we keep our elites, and I'm just going to stick with the UK at the moment. I'm not going to mention anywhere else. I do look at them, and I would say a majority of them do irritate me. When I see them, I hear them talking in a way that never before. Now, whether I've got a bit older and a bit more cynical and a bit more wiser, or
I'm rubbing off on you.
Well, it's not you necessarily. Yeah, I've always been a bit of a cynic, but I wouldn't like to think I'm influenced by anyone particularly. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you and I. But yeah, I've often tried to give people the benefit of the doubt. I'd like to believe there's common decency in most people. I'd like to believe, hope against hope, there's common decency. But yeah, they do live in a bubble. And again, yeah, Farage says that they live in the Westminster bubble. They really do. Easily done. I mean, we probably live in our own bubble here, but you know, you and I don't have that much involvement with each other, really. You know, we lead our own lives away. But yeah, I mean, I was thinking this: what do they need? What do politicians need? That's all they need. And we could put them all, as you said. I know you're a bit worried about them all being together and colluding and everything else, but you get my point. Why do they need such grandeur? If they're there as public servants, as Keir says, he wants to act for the benefit, the good of the common ordinary people. Okay, he gets a house, and yeah, I mean, the majority of the rooms along Downing Street are functional rooms for government business. Yeah, very, very small family unit housing rooms there. I get that, but yeah, he has to entertain some quite high up people. But yeah, they have portcullis house where they can go and do their business in, which costs a lot of money. You can go underneath the Westminster station and actually see where the foundations are. The big tubular supports are not holding up the station; they're holding up portcullis house above it. Shouldn't really tell people that, should I? Um, but yeah, they've got meeting rooms already. They can have people in. They've got rooms across in Westminster in the Parliament buildings themselves. So they've got adequate facilities already. So yeah, so I'm saving money. I'm trying to give them advice how to save money when it comes to restaurants and bars and everything else. Yeah. Why do they need subsidised alcohol? Where's that in their job description? Most of us aren't allowed to drink now on the job.
Right.
I came from a safety critical environment. I was regularly, or could be regularly, subject to drug and alcohol testing, and I couldn't refuse it. A refusal is a positive. Yeah, is a positive, as I say. There's only once I refused it, but yeah, a good reason for that. I was a long way away from where the testing point was. But it's a so yeah, why do they need it? Why do they need subsidised meals? They're on a good salary. I mean, I know a lot of it is government offices and things that they need local offices and everything else. But yeah, so I'm trying to help them to save money here, the good of the country. So how much do you think I've saved off the yearly bill? $1 billion? Something like that, you know?
Jump change for some.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, but yeah.
The thing is, I mean, that's what they'd say, of course.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if you don't save this little billion,
yeah,
then you're still going to be in the same shite.
Yeah.
You're not going to get out the hole that you're digging yourself.
No.
You can be yourself, like I say.
Yeah, but I'd like them to practice what they preach. So yeah, well, you've got to learn to budget your money.
Yes, of course.
And well, you
don't say that. Don't say that to them, otherwise they're going to make us have less, and then they're going to say, "Well, budget better."
Well, they're managing that already.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I know people in the UK are really worried. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, you know what I'm saying. I mean, I'm really, really when you start looking at the figures, I mean, all this is available online. You can go in and see what the politicians are. Okay, I will accept that sometimes politicians might have outside interests as well. I kind of accept that. I've got no problem with that, providing they declare it. There's no conflict of interests, and it's all in a public. You can go on the House of Commons website and see all this. So fairness to that, yeah. You do have access to how much expenditure is. Should be after the scandal 20 years ago or 15 years ago or however long ago. But yeah, having to live the way that a lot of people are now living in the UK, and we're not talking about the poor echelons, we're now talking about middle class. It's hitting the middle class, and it's hitting the middle class quite heavily. And I'm going to be honest, you look on a lot of for example, the Facebook pages for the various parties, they are turning against the politicians.
Yes, of
quite
course.
Drastically and nastily. Now, don't wish any ill on anyone. Yeah, despite I'm quite light-hearted here, but yeah, you can see it to the point I would look at it and think, who'd be a politician? And yeah, these are the questions that people might have to start asking themselves before they go into politics. I'm going to be more radical than this. The way that we as the people now do have access to all this information, given a lot of us don't have time because we're too busy working to be able to afford to keep ourselves. But yeah, and given that most of us now have so much information, access to information, how to conduct business and all that, why do we need politicians?
Oh.
Yeah, and I mean that. I was talking to someone last night about this, one of my clients. I said to her, why do we need politicians? why do we need politicians? And there's no, think about it. What do politicians really do? They tell me how poor I'm going to be and who I've got to hate this week.
That's what they've become. That's not what they were.
Yeah.
You know, they used to be, the government was always a lot smaller than what it is now.
Yeah.
So they used to make laws specifically based on common law.
Yes.
To guide the country to make itself to make it safe and prosperous.
Yeah.
But it seems, you know, in the unfortunately these days, a low waged worker has to pay 10% of his weekly wage.
Yeah.
To have an ice cream and to have a plate of fish and chips.
But again, just getting back to what's the agenda, you will have nothing and be happy.